Good evening. I'm Matt Pierson. It is an honor to serve as chairman of the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation's Board of Directors. Welcome to each and every one of you tonight. A special welcome to members of New Hampshire's legislature and our judiciary, and to Mayor Lazeau. I will provide a brief overview of this past year, but before I do that, I want to recognize a member of the Charitable Foundation that we lost in 2014, Kim Zakis. Kim left an indelible mark on New Hampshire and on the institutions that he cared for so deeply about, including the Charitable Foundation. Kim was a member of the Foundation's Board of Directors from 1982 to 1990. He served as chairman for 3 years, from 1985 through 1987. In his role here, as with everything he did in his life, he brought tremendous humanity, wisdom, and passion. We miss him. To recognize all that Kim has done for this foundation, for the dozens of nonprofits that he touched, for New Hampshire, we're dedicating this evening's meeting and our annual report to Kim. Kim's wife, Ann, is here tonight with us. Ann also served on the board as a member and also chair, making her and Kim the only two husband and wife teams to ever chair the Foundation's board, which is really special. And Ann would like to say a couple words tonight. So Ann, if I can have you come up.
Good evening. I asked my girls before I came to here tonight, I said, do you think I can do this without a tear? And they said, no, why would you try? Kimmin, who many of you know, had a very, very good life, and he would have been the first person to say so. Not long ago, I came across a quote that he'd put in his Runlet Junior High School biography, and in it he had said, "I always knew that if I worked hard, I would make it." I was astounded. At the age of 12, he more or less was aware of his path that he was going to take and that he was responsible for making that journey. A great deal of Kim's life centered on being involved with New Hampshire's institutions. Many of them had charitable foundation connections that he deeply valued. Now, of course, we all know that Kimmin had opinions, but he also put his energy into making things happen. And he would have loved seeing all of you here today, and he would have told you that he could not have done half the things he set his heart onto without your help. Personally, my own belief is that Kimmin, wherever he may be, is tweaking the various projects that you and I and many others in this room have started. But he would be the first to say he had your help to make it happen. Thank you so much for being here and honoring Kimmin.
Thank you, Ann. You and Kimmin demonstrate that superb governance has always been the cornerstone of the Foundation's success. And speaking of that, I'd like to recognize Eric Herr at this point. Eric, if you could just stand, for your service as chair of the Foundation's board for the last couple years, and also to thank you for continuing on now in the role of vice chair. Thank you. Our thanks also go to retiring board member and former chair Peter Berg, and to retiring board member Donna-Lee Lazeau. Thank you both for your service. And I have to add at this point that one of the things that I've come to appreciate about the Foundation is the dialogue around our board table. It was often in meetings that either Peter or Donna-Lee would say something, and I'd sit up in my chair and say, I never actually thought about that issue in that way. And I really appreciate the different perspectives that you have brought, so thank you very much for your service. And I'd like to introduce our newest members of the Foundation's Board of Directors. It's my pleasure to announce the election of Mary Jo Brown and Lucy Hodder. Mary Jo is the founder and president of Brown & Company Design in Portsmouth. She serves on several nonprofit boards, currently as chair of the New Hampshire Women's Foundation Board of Directors. She's a longtime friend of the Foundation. She's a longtime friend of mine, and we welcome her to the board. Lucy is the Director of Health Law and Policy Programs at the University of New Hampshire. She's a professor of law at the UNH School of Law and a member of the leadership team at the Institute for Health Policy and Practice. She is former legal counsel to Governor Maggie Hassan and comes to us from the Capital Region. Welcome, Lucy. And 4 members of our board have agreed to and been reelected to serve their second 3-year terms. Myself, Joe Riley, Mill Duncan, and Ross Gattell. So thank you for your service as well. In addition to the board of directors, a core strength of this foundation is our network of 8 regional advisory boards. Foundation directors and regional advisory board members come from all over the state, from Manchester and Claremont and Webster and Portsmouth and Colebrook and Salem and Keene. You get the message, from every corner of the state. Would all current directors and regional advisory board members please stand so we can thank you for your contributions? I'd also like you to join me in recognizing the staff of the Charitable Foundation. They are, to a person, committed, caring, and competent about the good work that they do each and every day in New Hampshire. And I also want to point out and give a special thanks to Aria Newcomb, who will retire this year, which is hard to believe. For the last 16 years, she has helped to orchestrate these meetings. She's been in the person that greeted you at the front door and the person right in the back who, with 3 minutes to go, said, "Please, it's time to take your seat right now." We will miss you, Aria. Many of you also know her from her role as a longtime executive assistant to Foundation President Lou Feldstein, who joins us here tonight. And we're so fortunate that Aria chose to make the Charitable Foundation a cornerstone of her life's work. Thank you so much. Could I ask all of our staff to stand? Thank you very much. They are a tremendous group of people to work with, and I find that having served on many boards, they are always up to the job and always do a great job preparing for every event, every meeting, and I really enjoy working with you, Dick, and the entire team. The New Hampshire Charitable Foundation was created by and for the people of New Hampshire 53 years ago. Since it was established, 1,700 individuals, families, and organizations have established funds at the foundation. Those funds and their careful stewardship ensure that New Hampshire has flexible and reliable philanthropic capital today, tomorrow, and always. From these funds, grants are made and scholarships are awarded that impact tens of thousands of people every year in every corner of our great state. In the 5 years, just 5 years, from 2010 through 2014, the foundation granted out $129 million to nonprofit organizations doing good work throughout our state, and $25 million in scholarships to help our students achieve their full potential. That deserves a round of applause. Generous donors established 68 new funds in 2014 and made gifts of almost $31 million. On behalf of myself and the board, I want to thank all of you for making the foundation your philanthropic partner. Everything this foundation does starts with you. The current $625 million in foundation assets means that New Hampshire can count on the foundation for grants and scholarships today and for the future. The Foundation's Investment Committee does diligent work as responsible stewards of this resource. The committee's investment strategy has continued to produce positive results. Thanks to their superb guidance and the work of Michael Wilson, our CFO and Vice President, and his team, over the past 5 years, we have met our goal of an 8% annual return. Members of the committee, please stand so that we can recognize your efforts as well. In 2014 alone, the foundation awarded more than $26 million in grants to 1,800 nonprofit organizations and more than $5 million in scholarships to over 1,700 New Hampshire students. A complete financial update is included in the 2014 annual report, which will be available at the end of this meeting. You, the foundation community, made it possible in 2014 for countless good works to proceed, for coalitions to be built, for kids to go to college, for communities across New Hampshire to be stronger. Thank you very much.